Hello and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News on this Wednesday, December 3rd. I'm Grant Olson. Here are some of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. The vote scheduled for next week by the Port of Chelan County to create the proposed Malaga Tax Increment Area has been postponed. Phone and email scams purporting to be from Chelan County government offices continue to plague the Wenatchee Valley. A series of weather systems will move through our area over the next several days, bringing rain showers and warmer temperatures. Your full local weather forecast is straight ahead. Three people with ties to the Wenatchee Valley are charged with acting as drug couriers to bring fentanyl and other illicit substances into the area. 72-year-old Deborah Sue Peak, 59-year-old Daniel John Chisholm, and 39-year-old Cody Lee Shank are all charged with drug possession with intent to deliver after an investigation by the Columbia River Drug Task Force. The three were initially arrested in October, allegedly returning to Wenatchee from the Seattle area and carrying about 2 ounces of fentanyl powder in their vehicle. Police say they also located fentanyl tablets and a few grams of heroin in the search. Prosecutors charged all three people by summons in November. Peak and Chisholm were previously arrested in 2019 for allegedly selling narcotics from a home they occupied on Sandy Brook Lane in Wenatchee. The vote scheduled for next week by the Port of Chelan County to create the proposed Malaga Tax Increment Area has been postponed following several public meetings where residents and public officials voiced opposition to the project. Port Commissioner Don Etherington said the port is reviewing and provided testimony in order to make what he calls a sound decision. Our media partner, the Wenatchee World, reports that the rescheduled vote may take place as early as December 23rd. The proposal would create a 3,300-acre TIF district to capture future increases in property tax revenue and set them aside to pay for public infrastructure improvements inside that area. Chelan County commissioners, public officials, and other local entities have spoken out against the prospective revenue loss if the port goes through with the Malaga TIF. The Wenatchee Valley Fire Department last week issued a public statement saying it stood to lose approximately $1.2 million in annual revenue from the TIF district beginning in 2027 and turned down a mitigation plan from the port designed to offset the loss. Wenatchee Valley College welcomed a new interim vice president to campus last month. Stephen Ward will fill in as the vice president of administrative services for the remainder of the current school year or until a new vice president has been hired. Ward replaces former vice president Brett Riley, who was terminated from the role earlier this year. Ward previously worked for Centralia College as vice president of finance and administration, as assistant comptroller at Northern Arizona University and controller at the University of Puget Sound. He's also served with the Northwest Commission on Colleges and Universities in several roles, including as a Finance Committee member and Financial Review Committee member. Ward began his tenure on November 18th. President Trump's Department of Justice is suing the state of Washington over its refusal to turn over personal data contained in the state's voter records. The DOJ, under Attorney General Pam Bondi, filed its lawsuit Tuesday in U.S. District Court in Western Washington, asking a judge to order Secretary of State Steve Hobbs to turn over the state's voter registration list, including voters' driver's license numbers or the last 4 digits of their Social Security numbers. In a press event Tuesday with Governor Bob Ferguson to certify the most recent election, Hobbs says he won't hand over that sensitive data, which the Trump administration wants to bolster its investigations into voter fraud.
State law prohibits me from doing that, and federal law prohibits me from doing that, the 1974 Privacy Act. Also, let me just state that there are numerous secretaries of state that have not turned over the data, including Republicans' secretaries of states, and many of them have not been sued. So I'm not quite sure what they're doing with the data. We did ask Attorney Dillon for the information, what you planning to do with it, and we have gotten no response.
We're very confident we'll be successful in court as we are against the Trump administration almost every single time we see them in court, whether we're on the offense or whether in this case they're suing us. But our success rate against the administration is very, very high, as you well know. And we're confident if they choose to sue us again, if this is real, that we'll be successful.
When we come back, the City of Leavenworth is offering an opportunity for residents to engage with local government, and the North Cascades Highway will close tomorrow for the winter season. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Central Washington Water understands the power of healing waters. If part of your wellness routine includes hot heat from a sauna, Central Washington Water now carries indoor and outdoor infrared and hot rock saunas by Tilo. Research shows there are many health benefits to a cold plunge after a good workout or relaxing time in your sauna. Harness the power of water in a hot spring spa, plug-and-play spas, a Tilo sauna, or a cold plunge tub. Stop by Central Washington Water, your wellness experts.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Call Alpine Air Heating and Cooling today. Your comfort is their priority.
Raising a family may have seemed overwhelming to your parents, but they weren't. Coach, teacher, life guide, caregiver. Family takes care of family. And as the circle of life continues, you now are their caregiver. It may seem overwhelming, but we're here to help you find the support services necessary so you can provide quality care to your elders.
Call Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington at 1-800-572-4459.
Phone and email scams purporting to be from Chelan County government offices continue to plague the Wenatchee Valley. One popular scam is a phony call threatening to arrest the victim for failing to show up for jury duty and demanding money in order to cancel a warrant. On the Chelan County Connection podcast, jury administrator Marisol Woodward says county offices will never make such threats and that most jury communication is done through regular postal mail.
We would never call anyone and threaten them and ask them for more personal information or ask for money. We do not do that. If you miss jury, we are going to send you a postcard saying you missed it and you just need to get a hold of us. But we recommend that if you do go as far as believing that you do owe money or whatever it is, once you realize if it is a scam, that you realize it's a scam, we recommend you contact the Federal Trade Commission at ftc.gov to report it. So hopefully if they get enough, they can do something about it, because I really wish that these people would stop doing this to people in our community, because it is a horrible thing. I've heard people of the money that they've gotten from them, and it's up to thousands of dollars.
The City of Leavenworth is offering an opportunity for residents to engage with local government. The city is seeking applicants for its inaugural Leavenworth Civics Academy. That's a program that aims to teach residents how city government operates. The academy will be led by city leaders, and participants will learn how decisions are made and how the city partners with outside agencies. Sessions will focus on topics like management, community development, public safety, and budget. Seats are limited and the deadline to apply is December 23rd. North Cascades Highway will close tomorrow for the winter season. The annual closure of that portion of State Highway 20 is determined by the Washington Department of Transportation due to conditions and avalanche risk. The date was decided based on current snow loads and avalanche pathways and snow showers in the forecast for the North Cascades. The closure includes Rainy Pass and Washington Pass between Ross Dam Trailhead and Silver Star Gate. Depending on conditions, closure points may be moved to lower elevations at the New Halem Gate on the west side and Early Winters Gate on the east side. The closure begins at 6 p.m. Coming up next in tonight's feature story, we will bring you part 2 of our conversation with Chelan Douglas Land Trust Executive Director Hannah Beener. Our first weather weekend of December looks wet and warm. I'll have all your weather details coming up, followed by Eric Granstrom with a look at all the day's sports action as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues after these messages.
When flooding hit Serve Wenatchee, their office in Fresh Hope Market were devastated. But their mission to help prevent homelessness in this valley hasn't stopped, and neither will we. I'm Todd McLaughlin, General Manager at Apple Valley Honda. Now through the end of the year, we're donating $25 to Serve Wenatchee every time someone takes a test drive. And if you happen to buy a vehicle, we'll give an additional $100 in your name. Because when our neighbors are in need, this community steps up, and we're proud to be part of that.
Order ready for Susan?
During the holiday rush, those might be the best words you can hear all week. At Abby's, you get a night off from cooking, a place to gather with family, and easy holiday catering that everybody loves. For legendary pizza and hospitality, visit Abby's.com. Aloha and Mele Kaliki Maka from Abby's. End your year with a tropical twist. Our big Hawaiian pizza at a legendary holiday price. Plus, earn $5, $10, $20 or more dollars in free pizza with our holiday gift card offer. Abby's, a legendary holiday pizza tradition.
For 40 years, the Chelan Douglas Land Trust has been a force in conserving the Wenatchee foothills, the sagebrush habitat of Douglas County, and other crucial wild areas. The Wenatchee nonprofit oversees 26,000 acres in the 2 counties, and it has a new director. Hannah Beener took the top job this year after 10 years as a staff member. In tonight's features story, NCWLIFE's Jefferson Robbins asked her how the agency copes with criticism when it takes on its many stewardship projects.
Mostly, if it's criticism, it's based in how someone's perspective of the best use of land. So if we protect a property in the foothills and we open it to public access and we put new trails in, we will undoubtedly hear that that was really nice as habitat and it's unfortunate that you put trails in on it. At the same token, if we protect an area that was not protected legally and was privately owned, but people were accessing it, and we put a seasonal closure on it to protect wildlife, we often hear that we're not doing enough to provide public access. And similarly, if we're taking land out of the tax base or taking land away from development, we have never been anti-development, and I think a lot of our integrity lies in the fact that we think that there's a right place for every kind of thing that is going to benefit our quality of life in the valley, and we try really hard to be sensitive to all the stakeholders and the community in general to figure out what that right place is for each one of those valuable pieces that makes this place a great place to live.
In some ways, it's the access to the outdoors that kind of makes the Wenatchee Valley and Chelan and Douglas counties what they are. Mm-hmm. People appreciate being able to walk more or less out their back doors and be kind of in nature.
Yeah.
And in many ways, the Land Trust has been the lead agency, at least in the near environments of the foothills, in making that happen.
Yeah. It's true. The Trust for Public Land has a whole body of research about living 10 minutes away from open space and parks and some sort of natural area or access to being in nature. And that's something that we strive to provide, and as our valley is facing a lot of conversion of ag land, development pressures, you know, I think it's really important that we hold that in mind. There's not going to be anyone who comes in and says, this gives us the master plan. It's up to us to work together to develop that master plan and really think about protecting the possibilities so that future generations continue to have a choice to make.
Hannah, what's your favorite area of Chelan Douglas Land Trust Conservancy? Is there a particular place that you like to visit most often when you can?
Well, I live in the Upper Valley, so I do enjoy Mountain Home. I spend a lot of time there. I would say, though, that the project that probably brings me the most satisfaction as having been something I worked on is the Kashmir Canyons Preserve. We had some wonderful private landowners to work with there, and it's just a unique preserve in that it's privately owned, it has public access. The landowner and the land trust work really collaboratively to bring that online and then also to continue managing it. So that one's really special as well.
Hannah, you've been director of the Chelan Douglas Land Trust for coming up on 6 months now, but you do have, as we mentioned, that longer history with the organization. So if somebody asks you, land trust, what's that? How do you go about describing it?
I say that we are a land manager. We protect and steward property in perpetuity, and we also work with the community to identify what properties we protect and how we're going to take care of them. So what we're going to provide for public access versus conservation values alone. How are these lands going to benefit the public in some way? I think that when I think of the land trust, it's definitely a partner with the community in a lot of ways that is more flexible and more nimble than some of our agency partners are able to be. And we do also have that, outreach and education arm. So really the land trust is an integral part of our community fabric in providing space to improve our quality of life and that of all beings.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast, and I hope you had a great Wednesday. I'll tell you what, it was just one of those gray, gloomy days out there. Nothing really changed throughout the day. This is a shot from our Wenatchee Heights tower camera, and folks, this is all we're seeing right now above that cloud deck. You can see the hills on the Wenatchee Heights area and our tower, but as we move below that cloud deck, this is what it looks like from underneath, and this is what we experienced throughout the day today. This is our Cascadian South camera, and it's looking, of course, up Wenatchee Avenue, and you can see all those low clouds that just would not go away today, and boy, that really kept our temperature down too. Looking forward a day and then into Friday, we have some more snow to tell you about. Lowland wintry mix of snow is possible. I think that'll be farther over into eastern Washington, but what we're keeping our eye on, mountain snow, and that also includes the Cascade Passes. So Thursday into Friday, if you are traveling through the mountains, you could experience some slick winter travel. So be aware of that towards the end of the week. I mentioned it wasn't very warm today, and it didn't change much today. 36 our high, 32 was our low temperature, 36 also our normal for this time of year, and 27 our normal low for this time. Record 57 degrees set 50 years ago in 1975. Our record low 6 degrees, not in 1985, this time 1984. Sunrise 7:30 and the sun set this afternoon. Boy, it's early at 4:11. All right, getting you into the Thursday temperatures. It's going to be a cool one out there tomorrow. Coolest temperatures over in the Columbia Basin, Moses Lake and Ephrata only at 36 degrees, 37 for Quincy. Wenatchee, we will be the warm spot at 39, 38 for Eniat and Chelan, 38 in Leavenworth, and 39 the high temperature tomorrow for you folks in Kashmir. All right, tonight we expect cloudy skies out there. Just a bit of a trough of low pressure now beginning to form. That's pushing our high pressure to the south, bringing in a good cloud deck as we get into tonight. Low temperatures a little on the cool side at about 30 degrees. For your Thursday, cloudy skies. You can see that little area of low pressure spinning off the coast, and that will spin some moisture our way on Thursday. A 60% chance that we will see some rain. High temperatures tomorrow right around the 40-degree mark, so a little bit of a warm-up. For Friday then, we're going to get wet. Cloudy skies and 80% chance of rain from that area of low pressure, pushing all this moisture our way. The good news is southwesterly flow of air. We're going to warm up into the upper 40s as we get into Friday. And then for the upcoming weekend, cloudy skies on Saturday. We will see a very strong and wet westerly flow, even some mountain snow in the Cascades. Going to stay on the mild side to kick off our weekend into those upper 40s. And then to end our weekend on Sunday, cloudy skies, maybe some breezy conditions in our area. We will be warm with a 60% chance of rain once again. And boy, it just inundates the entire state. Mid to upper 40s for high temperatures Sunday afternoon. For Monday, cloudy skies. This could be our wettest day of all, especially late in the day into the evening. That color, that is heavy rainfall, and we could see that Monday afternoon, as I mentioned, into our evening hours. We're going to stay on the warm side with highs in the upper 40s, and then after some morning rain showers on Tuesday, you can see the wind in the Cascades Tuesday morning. There's a look at your commute on Tuesday. By the afternoon, scattered showers. We do have about a 90% chance of rain on Tuesday, but look at that. High temperatures Tuesday, right around 50 degrees. All right, here's your 7-day forecast now, brought to you by Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee, where comfort, care, and community come together. 30 degrees, your overnight low tonight, and then a very rainy period from Thursday right through the weekend. 39 our high tomorrow, an 80% chance of rain Friday and 47. Also a 50 to 60% chance of rain as we head into the upcoming weekend with highs in the mid to upper 40s, and then a rainy start to next week too. 80% chance on Monday, morning rain on Tuesday with high temperatures in the upper 40s to near 50 degrees. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
And a happy Wednesday to you. Let's talk some college basketball. Washington State came up short in men's play last night. The Cougars lost at Bradley 64-50, despite freshman Ace Glass leading the way with 15 points. Coming up tonight, Eastern Washington visits Denver at 6 o'clock. Washington plays host to UCLA. That'll be at 8 on the Big Ten Network. Women's basketball. Earlier today, Washington State was visiting BYU. Eastern Washington will host Denver. That'll be at 6 o'clock on ESPN+. The Wenatchee Wild broke open the offense in a 7-2 win over Swift Current last night at the Town Toyota Center. Our buddy Austin Drade had the call on the Wenatchee Wild Hockey Network.
Seconds into the new month, and another one for the Wild. Kalen Jodry makes it 1-0. Sherbina backdoor, wrist shot, they score! Blake Vanek, his fourth power play goal this year, 56 seconds into the second period, and the Wenatchee Wild have made it 2-0. Wild 4-on-2, left wing Hahn over the blue line, slows it down, looking for a pass, feeds it for Osborne, one-timer, he scores! Bring it out from their own blue line, Dingman caught along the wall, Dosey doing with Kraft, who steals it right back from him. Onto the stick of Kraft, back for Toll, gives it to McCagerty, he scores!
Time of that Wild goal, 18:59.
Wild looking for another one, waiting, wrist shot, Saab got a block, second chance, they score! Number 5 makes it 5-0, it's Fluker again! Opens up the ice a bit, 4-on-4, and the Wild are on the move, 3-on-3. Sherbina draws it, wrist shot, he scores! On on the rush from the right circle. 4-on-4, 6-0, Wenatchee. Andre peels it back out left point. Toll with a chance. That one tipped wide. Wedman trying to put it home. Long stretch. Dingman on the rush, trying to beat Conway. He gets it to the top corner of the net and scores on the back check as quickly as he could. Kryatchenkov left point. Muscles it over right point. Yanking it away, picking it back for Wilkie at the blue line. Wrist shot down the slot, he scores. Wilkie. Maybe a 2-on-none. Caffey driving. One-timer, they score. Mason Kraft to finish it off.
Wenatchee hits the road for Alberta for 3 games this weekend, beginning at Lethbridge on Friday. Wild will visit Medicine Hat Saturday, Calgary Sunday. Follow the action with Austin Drade on 560 KPQ. Well, Cashmere practiced in the Apple Bowl last night as they prepare for a state championship game coming up Friday in Seattle. Bulldogs will face 5-time defending champion Royal at Husky Stadium. Coach Brian Bremer says this is a quick week to turn around and be ready.
Because it's such a short week, playing on a Saturday, you're leaving on a Thursday to go play on a Friday, you really only have a couple days to prepare. Obviously, you know, we've been used to that. We played on a Thursday, I think twice this year. Like, we're kind of used to that anyways, but everything's accelerated. So the lack of focus is not acceptable, and our guys know that because we have to do stuff fast. We usually have a Tuesday to do openers, to do 1st and 10 calls, a Wednesday to do 3rd down and red zone, a Thursday, today, we did 1st down, 3rd down, 4th down, red zone on offense and defense because everything's accelerated. So, yeah, it's been a good prep. It's accelerated, but it's kind of like ripping the Band-Aid off, right? Rip the Band-Aid off, get through it, get out of it what you need to get out of it. Try to make sure your team goes in as healthy as possible and with some type of legs back after 14 weeks and go play their best football at the right time.
Good news is that Cashmere has already seen Royal once this year, a 21-15 overtime loss. That was back in October. Bremer says neither team is the same, however.
Royal is so multiple, with especially their offensive scheme. Their offensive scheme is so multiple. Like you may see a formation twice and never see it again. Whereas obviously we're a little bit different. You're going to see the same formation pretty much all game. We're going to disguise it a bunch of different ways, but we're going to get to the same stuff in a different way. But they're not necessarily play repeaters and things like that. So just because what we saw in week 5 doesn't mean that's what they're going to run against us in week 14, right? So it's kind of a whole different system. You know their personnel though, which is nice. I'm familiar with their personnel. I'm familiar with what they try to do. So there's certain things you got to take away.
One might think a coach with no state title experience would cast a wide net looking for advice, but not Bremer. He says he's going inside the house to find the experience he needs.
Well, obviously you lean on your assistant coaches that have been here before, because I have a couple of them that have been here before. You lean on a guy in your building like Jeff Carlson, who's won 3 state titles. A really respected guy in him, and you ask him some questions about week and prep and what it looked like his first time he was there. And I lean on my brother, who is a college football head coach in Minnesota, and you ask him questions and have him help you out with some stuff. But more importantly, and this is not boastful, but you have to lean on your own intuition and your own gut. Everybody's got a gut feeling, and you got to go with your gut sometimes. A lot of people want to put their hands in the pie, right? But you got to trust your gut that you're making the right decisions and putting your football team in the right spot.
Cashmere and Royal kick off Friday at Husky Stadium in the WIAA State 1A Championship. That'll be at 3 o'clock. You can watch the game with a subscription on the NFHS network. Eastmont girls bowling team remained undefeated with a sweep of Wenatchee yesterday at Eastmont Lanes. Wildcats featured 5 seniors in the starting lineup. Took the first game 739 to 669. Wenatchee brought up a freshman for the second game, made it close. The difference was only 4 pins. Wildcats took both Bakers to complete the sweep. Eastmont improved to 3-0 in league play with the win. The Wenatchee dropped to 2-2 on the season. By the way, that'll be broadcast next Tuesday night here on the NCWLIFE channel. Prep basketball season got off to an inflated start last night. See what I did there? Moses Lake girls opened with a 48-23 win over Ephrata. Wenatchee edged Cascade by 2. Central Valley beat Eastmont. Omak got by Othello. Royal beat Chelan. Liberty Bell topped Tenasket. Davenport down Lake Roosevelt. And Moses Lake Christian clobbered Touchy. That score is right, 59-5. Ouch. Ouch. Eastmont boys struggled on the road at Central Valley, falling 65-50. Moses Lake beat Ephrata. Pateras got by Nespelem. Cascade tripped Thorpe. It was Othello over Omak. Sageview quieted Quincy. Tonasket topped Liberty Bell. Lake Roosevelt down Davenport. And Bridgeport beat Waterville Mansfield 78-32. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Have a happy Wednesday.
And that will do it for this Wednesday edition of the NCWLIFE Evening News. Remember, if you see news happening, let us know. Email your news tips to news@ncwlife.com or just give us a call at 888-6295. Our channel is also available on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us and have a great night.